future dimensions. It is difficult to dare further and soar to the nearest five-dimensionality without fully mastering four-dimensionality ethically. But man by nature is impatient and curious. It is very desirable to look into the unknown. Let us first summarize some results. We can already take a panoramic view of the mental path of mankind, passed from dimension to dimension and depicted in different mythological stories and images. We can also note some regularities. 1. The subjective space of human consciousness from antiquity to the present day takes different spatiotemporal forms, changing each other in a strictly defined sequence. 2. Each of these spatiotemporal forms has in its basis the form-forming unity of dimensionality and ethics. 3. Spatiotemporal forms develop on the basis of the successive change of the dimensions of a simple numerical series, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and the simultaneous change of ethical values. 4. Each subsequent spatiotemporal form in comparison with the previous one actually experienced is perceived as something unattainable and incomprehensible, and is reflected in myths as the realm of the divine. 5. The previous, archaic spatiotemporal form with all its stadial mythological layer is displaced into the subconscious under the influence of the new spatiotemporal form, actually experienced and dominant. In the new myths, the former mythology, its ethics and characters are declared to be the sphere of the dark, unethical, anti-divine. 6. The subconsciousness of modern man is a complex conglomerate of multidimensional spatial and temporal forms. The more ancient the mythological layer, the deeper it is displaced. Each subsequent mythological layer rests on the previous one as a foundation. Altogether they form a pyramid, which can have at present a maximum of 6 mythological layers, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and with their apex dimensions 3, 4, go out to the actual experienced levels of consciousness. 7. Archaic mythological layers play a significant, if not to say determining, role in the subconsciousness, and consequently in the behavior of modern man, masked by modern external attributes. 8. The mathematical structure of mythological consciousness provides an opportunity for original quantitative and qualitative analysis of human psyche, motivations of his behavior, his ethno-religious and cultural peculiarities. Proceeding from the above, the five-dimensionality that interests us has not yet acquired its own mythology, but is contained in the four-dimensional mythology as an area of the divine. However, the information about this area is extremely scarce. I am in every creature of the earth, I am everywhere and I am nowhere, I am the creator of all things. In fact, that is all. As we already know, the freedom of a four-dimensional man is limited by the limits of movement along his own world line. Consequently, the new degree of freedom is the possibility of moving at one's own will from one world line to another, as well as staying in many world lines simultaneously, without distorting their independent being. I am in every creature of the earth. Transition from line to line is free but not arbitrary. It is conditioned by the creative process of creation of life. The next, fifth dimension is another coordinate, which, in order not to be a mere mathematical abstraction, must have a physical meaning. Obviously, the physical meaning must reflect some new, as yet unknown regularity occurring in the five-dimensional space. In the same space there should be some ethereal substance, most likely connected with the vacuum, which is closely studied nowadays. The opening of a new dimension is the penetration of consciousness to the level of a finer material substance, which becomes the carrier of this consciousness. There is still no consensus on the physical meaning of the fifth coordinate. If we take into account that mythology and science at all times directly or indirectly confirmed and predetermined each other's conclusions, then from the point of view of mythology the version of the physical meaning of the fifth coordinate proposed by Romer in his book Studies on Five Optics is the most preferable. The fifth coordinate has the physical meaning of action. From the perspective of four-dimensional mythology, it is the creative action of creating life that is the sign of divine presence. Perhaps the highest ethical value in five-dimensionality is the creative creation of life. The further is still beyond our comprehension. The more forbidden is six-dimensionality. From the point of view of modern researches, the sixth coordinate may have a physical meaning of causality. We will have to stop at this point for lack of words, terms and concepts to move forward. Next time we will give some concluding thoughts about all the above mentioned.